This text examines two common approaches to life: the perfectionist and strategic mindsets. A perfectionist is someone who tends to pursue high standards and excellence in every endeavor, often with an inclination toward meticulousness and a desire for flawlessness. Perfectionists set and strive to achieve standards or quality that can be difficult or impossible. There is an emphasis on achieving an ideal, and any deviation from that ideal is considered unacceptable. Perfectionism can lead to a fear of making mistakes, a preoccupation with details, and a tendency to be overly self-critical. In theory, seeking perfection is good and admirable. When a perfectionist succeeds, he blesses the world with something beautiful, high quality, and wonderful. However, their rigid all-or-nothing mindset often deprives the world of many more beautiful and functional products. The quest for perfection, though having positive effects, can have overwhelmingly negative consequences for the perfectionist. Some of these drawbacks include the following. First, perfectionists grapple with a myriad of challenges, encompassing a profound fear of failure that impedes them from taking risks or embracing new opportunities. This fear, coupled with an inclination towards procrastination while awaiting ideal conditions, often results in heightened stress and anxiety. Paradoxically, despite the notable passion for high-quality achievements, perfectionists may contend with low self-esteem due to an unwavering focus on perceived shortcomings. Their penchant for setting unattainable standards not only strains relationships, but also fosters a rigid mindset that impedes adaptability. The relentless pursuit of perfection can lead to burnout, neglecting self-care and relaxation. Additionally, imperfection may stifle creativity due to the fear of failure, contributing to chronic stress, deterioration in physical health, and other issues. Moreover, perfectionists may struggle with delegating tasks, fearing that others won't meet their exacting standards, thus intensifying their workload and stress levels. Second, though perfectionists acknowledge the world is multidimensional or multivariate, driven by their perfectionist trait, willing to sacrifice every resource or ignore all other variables to achieve the ideal. Perfectionists view the world like a jigsaw puzzle. For a jigsaw puzzle, the picture is given, and the pieces are provided in one package. All one needs to do is fit the pieces in the correct spaces. Unfortunately, reality is not quite straightforward. It is much more complex than a jigsaw puzzle. Usually, in reality, the picture and all the pieces of the puzzle are unknown. In the rare cases where they are known, they may not come packaged in one box. One has to look beyond the package to deal with the challenges life offers. Third, perfectionists are stress emitters. They do this in two ways. The perfectionist may be setting exceptionally high standards for themselves or others. That happens when the perfectionist believes that others expect them to be perfect. These presumed attitudes or approaches of the perfectionist lead to dissatisfaction and strain in relationships. They feel pressured to meet external standards, and the fear of judgment or rejection can be a driving force. Additionally, perfectionists can impose a huge burden of stress on themselves and children if they are religious. Because of their inclination for perfection, they tend to believe God expects perfection in their devotion to Him. In doing so, they set out to either impress God or meet His exceptionally unreachable standard for perfection. They extend a level of stress to family, friends, and work colleagues, but especially their children. At the other extreme, strategic minds work differently. They are characterized by several underlying assumptions and beliefs, including but not limited to the following. Number 1. They acknowledge the importance of perfection. They see perfection for what it is: a standard, not a target. They recognize that perfection is a predetermined level of performance, a reference point, baseline, or measure of consistency. They understand that perfection, as a standard, provides a clear expectation of what is acceptable or satisfactory performance. Number 2. Strategic minds use perfection to set performance targets. They understand that perfection is the ideal, the 100% mark. But they also understand that 100% performance is an ideal, an unrealistic benchmark. So, while they are not oblivious to it, they are aware that other variables in the equation will prevent them from reaching such marks. They understand that in the face of friction, no machine can operate at 100% efficiency. They also understand that given scarce resources and time, Seeking perfection is counterproductive. Number 3. Strategic minds understand also that the pursuit of perfection is like a relay race. It takes a team to reach the finish line. They know all they can do is run their race to the best of their ability and pass the batons. Once they have finished their part of the race, they wait. This time, not only for what their team members have done, but what the other teams will do. Edison's early light bulbs were not as efficient as modern bulbs, and they had a relatively short lifespan. Over the years, others have come along to make it more effective and efficient. Despite the enormous changes to the light bulb, Edison remains the inventor. His bulb was far from perfect, but he ran his race to the best of his ability and passed the baton for others to carry on. Number 4. Strategic minds also understand that functionality is on a higher plane than perfection. Functionality refers to the capability of any entity to perform its intended functions or operations. It is a measure of how well something works and how effectively it can fulfill its purpose or meet the needs of its users. So, the strategic mind, though aware of the importance of perfection, does not make it a goal. He works more on improving functionalities through several iterations while considering other factors. Number 5. Strategic minds are fully aware that meaningful compromises are the key to productivity and longevity. They are quick to acknowledge that even nature makes compromises to maintain balance, beauty, and continuity. In the essay Compensation, Ralph Waldo Emerson asserts that in nature, a certain compensation balances every gift and every defect. A surplus given to one part is paid out of a reduction from another part of the same creature. If the head and neck are enlarged, the trunk and extremities are cut short to gain certain advantages on the hierarchical scale of survivability. Number 6. A strategic mind understands that perfection is an unattainable illusion, likened to an asymptote. Similar to a mathematical curve inching infinitely close to an asymptote without ever intersecting it, perfection remains an ideal that is perpetually pursued but never fully realized. Therefore, perfectionists would benefit from embracing imperfection as the cornerstone of innovations and creativity. Perfection is the end of growth, marks the end of all existence. It is the precursor of death or annihilation. When the perfect song is sung, the perfect book written, and the perfect act performed, creative processes for these art forms cease. There's no motivation to continue. Death and annihilation are inevitable after perfection is attained. Perhaps that's why the Bible states, God saw all he had made, and behold, he said they were very good and not perfect. Very good reflects an awareness that continual improvements are necessary for the earth to persist. New trees must replace old ones, new mountain ranges and rivers will form, and the old will cease. Perfection leaves no room for change, adjustments, and adaptations. It resists life, for life is change. It is a one-way street that leads to death and annihilation. Number 7. Perfectionists have learned to live with the beauty of imperfections, fully aware that imperfections are the building blocks of perfection, just as failures are the same as success. In summary, this examination of perfectionist and strategic mindsets underscores the potential pitfalls of perfectionism, including fear of failure, stress, and a rigid worldview. In contrast, strategic thinkers leverage perfection as a standard rather than an absolute goal, prioritizing functionality, meaningful compromises, and a recognition of imperfections as essential to growth. Ultimately, embracing imperfection becomes a pathway to creativity and continuous improvement, offering a more adaptive and fulfilling approach to life. Thanks for watching. If you're eager for more thrilling short stories, click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be the first to dive into our next exhilarating adventure.